all checked out.
We're back.
0 viewers. They said, fuck it.
Everyone here. Where the hell are these guys?
I know.
What's going on?
I like somebody in there and posted something about upper management. They're like, you guys all sound like upper management.
I hate upper management. Down with upper management. That's what I say.
We were just getting the levels right, making sure everything was good, having some conversation briefly.
Bitching. We were bitching.
That's exactly
We
what
were
that
here
is.
before 10, but we got caught up.
Yes.
We got caught up. Sorry. Hello to everyone. Mark Stanton.
Mark Stanton's in here.
We got to hang out with him over last week. He was out at Woodwire and Volt, saw that kind of cool stuff.
He was.
Won a pedal.
Mark also.
There's the D-man.
If you see any comments, you can click show.
Oh, no, over there.
That'll put the comments up. So
Sick.
highlight the comments so when you guys are talking.
Woo!
And I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Hi, fellas.
Derek's leaving us. It's gonna get scary.
Nah.
He had to run out. No, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun. I see Tony Barnes is here. Kevin Walsh from Wilmington, North Carolina. I think we saw someone else from the other Wilmington, Delaware.
Wilmington, Delaware.
Good old Delaware. Technically, isn't Baxter upper management? We'll leave it there. We'll leave it at that.
There's not really. There's not an upper crust to this thing.
Oh man, let's see. Mark Stanton says, and then Sunday night I get a text from Curtis Novak, who's a super cool guy, by the way,
Awesome, dude.
asking if I had left something at the show. It turns out I won the Classic Vibe Telly. What? No, you did not.
That's cool.
So you won the Maestro trim and a Classic Vibe with Curtis Novak. That's kind of amazing, actually.
Maestro.
Ned Mark did get his pedal. They placed it in his little hands right there. Not that he has little hands, but you know what I'm saying. But we are much slacker than that. So that's what we're going to do. First thing, we're going to get off this live
Mark
stream.
probably got his pedal.
And we're going to
already.
send you your pedal with all sorts of fun.
We got it over
things.
here to the side. We've been trying to figure out what else to put in the box. So we're going to get it right.
We're going to get it right.
What's the most realistic new brand for you guys to start with after seeing them at NAMM?
We hate all the brands.
Yeah, I mean, they were
It's
all
all
terrible. It was horrible.
Damn, horrible.
That's actually what our conversation was about, is how bad it is.
I don't know. I mean, like, you got to remember for us, right? Like, we're smallish. So new brands don't always make a ton of sense for it. If we went to NAMM every year and picked up new brands, we would be out of business, like, pretty quickly. Just because, like, there's a limited amount of bandwidth for us. There's a limited amount of space.
Yep.
There's a limited amount of time to put into things. That's why we're so stupid that we talk about things that we don't carry all the time. Because we love lots of things,
But we can't carry lots.
can't go into lots of things. So, it's not like we were looking for any new major brands. Now, there were some smaller things, probably more things at Woodwire and Volts that there are chances of us doing some collaboration work with, which may not look like carrying the full on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might look like doing some custom pieces and those kind of different things. There are some things like that in the works. I'm hesitant to say just yet because you never know.
Yeah.
I hate to be like, we're gonna do this,
we're
and this.
doing all this shit.
But everybody gets back from NAMM and needs a moment. The joke about NAMM is always that you get NAMM thrax. Everybody gets sick. Poor Sean was sick while we were at NAMM, like fever, like feeling horrible, the whole thing.
It was kind of dope.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair to Sean, I mean, like, it's kind of amazing that he's there. He's running the camera. He's on camera. It was pretty good. I get back from NAMM. My whole family has the flu.
It's Jonathan's whole family. That's an understatement.
I mean,
they
they're
were
like
dying.
they've like, today is literally the first day since maybe last Tuesday or Wednesday that my children haven't woken up with fevers. So they had the whole 7-day fever thing. So it was
nuts.
nasty. My wife,
The phone calls Jonathan
same
was
thing.
having, it sounded like a war tent. It was not good. It was not good.
It was not good. And I somehow, knock on the metal table, have not gotten like sick yet. I don't feel great. It's like I can feel it in my body, but I'm just deciding.
I was gonna say, and he
you're not
sounded
coming
like
out.
this since Sunday. Like I was
you're not
worried
gonna come
about
out.
you Sunday night.
Well,
I was like,
I actually texted our friend Roland this morning. I was like, listen, I don't think I was going to rehearse tonight. I was like, I think I'm gonna go home and go sleep, and try to not, not succumb 100%. So, anyways, yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. But we still had a good time. I think you had a good time despite your
Yeah, no, it was
being
awesome.
on death's door.
Meeting a bunch of great people out there was awesome. I think people ask about what the best thing that we saw was. I think the most impressive thing was all the people that we met and the sense of community that I think we felt. I felt it at least.
I gotta really quickly. Chad B says, "Do your feet hurt after a day at NAMM?" I think the thing that made me feel the most old at NAMM, knowing that I've hit 43, I was like, damn, my feet have never just hurt from just being alive before. And NAMM, they like, but literally, I'm talking about we get up at, I don't know, we wake up because we're on still weird East Coast time, right? Yeah. Wake up stupidly early, be over at NAMM. We'd walk over about 9, and it wasn't that far, a few blocks to NAMM from our hotel. Walk all day, maybe get back to our hotel at like 10, 11, midnight. And it's just like, damn. And it's just constant walking. So, yes, Chad B, my feet hurt like a son of a bitch.
I mean, that is really the main source of transportation while we're there.
Your feet
was walking. I mean, you talk about airports, you talk about, you might drive to the hotel, but then from there, we walked to most restaurants. We walked to anything that we wanted to do. It was a lot.
The smart race. That's my feet hurt from being alive. So I was like, that could be a hit. That could be my next hook. Could be my next hook. I don't know.
My feet hurt from being alive.
Oh man, remember she says his feet hurt all the time. Flat-footed, PF, and arthritis. Yeah, that's not good. That's bad. But no, and me and Sean are dumb because we only brought boots.
yeah. Two different sets of boots.
To be fair, I feel like my boots are nicer and feel more comfy than any tennis shoes.
Yeah, there was moments throughout the weekend where I was like, man, the boots are messing with my feet a little bit, but they never hurt at night for me.
I don't think it would be any different if you were wearing tennis shoes. Unless you're wearing like the crazy, like,
Oh, yeah. Like Hoka's
like the Skechers with the big gel in the middle. Maybe. Exactly. And that probably still wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I still can't believe that Mark Stanton won both things.
That's cool.
So what are we going to talk about first? We're going to talk about NAMM or Woodwire and Volts?
Let's talk about NAMM. What do you think? Let's do it.
NAMM. So okay. Big, because like we could give you the lame, then we went to this booth and saw this, but that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Overarching things. I heard a lot of people say like NAMM is back.
Yes.
I don't know that I had as much of that thought.
Yeah.
It was back in the way that it was cool, like seeing people that are obviously friends that we haven't seen in a long time, like from other shops and stuff. I saw a bunch of people who I feel like are friends because I know them from like the internet, but I've never seen in person. That was cool. But as far as like just the spectacle of it, slightly disappointed. Like, because there's no giant Fender booth, there's no giant like PRS room. Like, it's just a little meeting room with a wall of guitars.
Yep.
Same for Gibson, right? Like, Gibson was cool because they had these private events. There's like the speakeasy thing. So, that is cool to walk in and give them a little password, and there's guitars everywhere, and they got it, there's a open bar, you're hanging out with like Lee from Andertons and like Jared James Nichols. That is very cool. But I would rather see the big room, all the Gibsons, all the custom shops, all the Epiphones, the stage in the middle. Like,
and starting with that is like who had those kind of booths? Marshall had a massive booth. They might have had the biggest singular booth for like a guitar product.
Turns out they got that China money now. So
I mean, literally though, it was a massive booth for a singular product. Everything else was like obviously like Yamaha and stuff. They had massive rooms for all their brands, but solely guitar stuff, I think Marshall had the biggest thing.
I can't think of booth is kind of impressive. Well, I know from Big Cheese, Cream Guitars was pretty amazing. It wasn't massive, but it was just like,
it was really cool.
You're like, damn, that's impressive. Ibanez has an impressive guitar.
They did. It was a lot.
You know what I mean? And we don't spend a ton of time there, but like as far as they put in the effort of like, there's different sections. They have them grouped where it makes sense. It was cool to look at.
I just want to point out, me and Yvette Young made eye contact a couple of times.
That's true. Skylar, turn this off if you're listening.
Pretty good. No, it was awesome though. I did see her, and she seemed like the sweetest person on the planet. I was like, wow, that's nice. But that was over by the Ibanez booth. I was like, what? Like there was a big poster of her, and then there's her, and I was like, how?
Listen, I'm gonna answer all of your random like specific questions like about the Rockman and Dumble and all that stuff. We'll get back. I'm coming. I want to finish this overarching thing. But that was cool, right? Like seeing people was cool.
Yeah.
I still kind of wish some of those things, some of those brands had shown up a little bit more.
Yes. And we kind of talked about this, and this is no slight to Gibson, Fender, anybody like that. But it seems a little odd to have so much marketing everywhere, like at NAMM. Like, and whenever we say that, they had
take a picture of yourself in the Gibson throne.
Yeah.
Tag us. But no,
here's all of the Fender Ultra stuff in a case. Like, look at it. It's like, I don't know, if you're gonna understand that it is a place to market, why not just go ahead and show up? And you don't have to do the world's biggest booth, but
or do you?
I don't know.
No, I mean, it's cool. But that was my thought on that part, right? Now it was super cool, especially at the PRS had their 40th anniversary event.
Yeah.
John Mayer, Mark Letary, the DG, Dave Grissom. Philip Sace, I thought was particularly entertaining. He was maybe my favorite thing to listen to. He
was impressive.
That guy just doesn't know how to play like half-ass. He
cut his hair too.
Yeah.
And he looks like badass Billy Idol. Like, it was kind of sick.
I feel like he should be a vampire. He could be the Lost Boys.
He needs to like keep his hair cut like that and just look like me. He was ripping. I was like, damn,
it was pretty impressive.
He was putting that Silver Sky through the paces. I was like, that thing might not hold up through the rest of this show. He was beating the hell out of that thing. It's like, damn it.
I mean, it would be kind of neat to see them give him his own signature thing, but whatever. That didn't happen. So, like, it was cool being amongst all the other YouTube people that we think of as like real, Paul Davids and like Mary Spender and like people like that, Rhett Scholl and like
who else was
the little
there?
samurai guitarist
guy was there.
And the Andersons guy, Danish Pete, the captain, and all their crew. Jade was super cool, by the way, with those guys.
Sweet Zach was with us. That was fun.
Yep, Zach and Jake. It was just neat, kind of feeling like we fit a bit,
Well, and to illuminate one thing, and I was talking to some guys about this in the shop the other day, yesterday actually. When we went to that Gibson speakeasy thing, and we were hanging out with Lee Anderton and stuff. For one, me and Lee hit it off beautifully. What a sweet, sweet man. I love him and all the explicits that come out of his mouth. He's amazing. We were talking and having this just fun conversation. Well, I'm going to spare a lot of details here just out of the
protect the
appreciation of Lee.
I know what you're saying. So I love Lee too, but Lee was amazing.
A guy came up and asked him a really inappropriate question to both of our opinions. And it
wasn't appropriate.
It was very
inappropriate. We had all like known each other really well.
Yeah, it was just weird.
It was weird.
It was a weird thing. Like, if you met somebody and the first thing you come up and ask them is like a really touchy subject that is very
personal,
and it also happened a long time ago as well. But this guy comes up and that's the first question he asks, as well as being kind of like a little nervous. He says all that, and Lee Anderton handled this question like a total G, dude. He answered it and went into detail, and I shook that man's hand afterward because that's how you do it. He's a man, dude. Lee Anderton is a man. He deserves all the respect, all the flowers. He was badass. So I just wanted to put that out into the universe that Lee Anderton is a badass.
Lee Anderton is, in fact, a badass. Let's talk about the Dumble thing.
The Dumble thing.
Super unexpected. We put out a video. I saw, Anderton's did a video. I think the Studio Rats did a video in there playing it.
It was awesome.
I saw some guy talking about like how horrible the Dumble sounded in the Anderton's video. It was a video reacting to their video saying how horrible Dumbles are. I saw Nathan Lee Cordy did a video about it or whatever. Listen, just so you know, you literally we're at NAMM. You're walking by in the hallway, like outside, right? Yes.
You're not even in NAMM.
You're not even in like NAMM on the floor. There's this little room and there's a sign that says Dumble. And another like blurry sign that says Overdrive Special. And we're like, well, what the hell is that? And it's totally closed off. And there's little like bank teller windows that you can tell this is probably a ticket booth at some point.
You can't really see inside.
Can't see in there at all. And there's a door on the side. And there's a guy there that I thought looked familiar. Turns
Yes.
out that was the Drew Berlin guy,
Yep.
the Burst Brother guy who wrote the Burst book, all that stuff.
Yep.
You know, whatever you think about him. But
he didn't like me.
well, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course
Nobody likes me. Go
but
for it.
anyways, we look in, man, and there's Dumble amps.
Yeah.
And we start talking to the guy, Matt,
Yep.
who owns these amps, and I guess apparently took care of Dumble. If you want the story, watch our video because it's just him telling the story. So he, you know, Dumble left him all the IP, like intellectual property, the name, all that stuff. But
how he sourced things, everything.
Everything, like all the junk and all the people who like know how to cut off the goop stuff. No, whatever you think about that, whatever, I don't care. But I'm just telling you that's what it is, right?
This is the experience.
And so he's been trying to squash people who are like counterfeiting them. Not so much people who are making like a Dumble style amp like Fuchs or like Amplified Nation. You know what I mean? Like I think they had to change some of their names where it wasn't like the Overdrive Special. Like that's why they probably changed. But I don't think they care as much about that as much as people like the guys in the UK. One guy in particular who was like trying to make Dumbles, like that kind of stuff. Or apparently, and this makes sense to me, there are more people than I realize who are like trying to fake them like a Chibson, pass it off as a real Dumble. So they've been fighting a battle with that. Apparently, they tell us about it. We think it's interesting. I think we were the first people who like to make an appointment with them and then actually show back up to film.
Yeah.
I think when we first met them, they didn't really know that we like had a YouTube channel. They looked us up. We got back. They were kind of pumped about it.
The showing back up, I just want to say the kindest thing that we probably heard. This is one of those few things. It's like a weird thing that you would take as a compliment, but we showed up and they were like, you guys are on time.
Crazy.
I know. My God. And like they were very sweet and kind, I think, to all of us.
I think that worked to our credit. Yes. But anyways, so once you get in there, here's the deal. Like, and here's maybe why if you think the amp didn't sound great on the Intertons. And honestly, I haven't really even listened to it, so I don't know. But you know, they sit you down. Like we didn't know they were going to let us play any amps.
No,
they offered to let Baxter play the amps, right? And you know, he played the new one and the last one that Dumble started building that then got finished after he died.
Yeah.
And then they played the very first Overdrive Special, if I'm not mistaken, are the ones that we you know Baxter got to play.
Yeah.
I wish they would have let him play that one that was Robin Ford's. That's supposed to be the most sort of like forgiving for like it's not built for you, right?
Yeah.
In the room, it was pretty magical, and I'm not saying it was the greatest tone I've ever heard. It's just neat because it's history. Like I'm thinking of it more as history than like the most magical amp tone you've ever heard.
Yes. Well, and I think that's where there's a little, and this is not on them at all, but the maybe the mismanagement of the public eye on Dumble so far has been that the heavens open up and stuff. It's still an amp, but what is impressive is to hear a piece of history. And there is so much history to it. And that this guy was so particular in the way that he built the amps. The overhyped price value of the things, I feel like you have to start, we have to separate something. It's like a Klon, you know?
It's almost like the quote on the KTR when he put it out. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't do this.
Exactly.
And I don't know how Dumble would have felt about that. I don't know. I mean, because obviously he was a strange guy. I think most people who, you know, do something at that high level kind of are, whether you think it's, you know, junk or not. Yes. I won't tell you right now that I'd take one of those amps and play it for it. I don't know that I would.
I would want to sit down and play. It's like any amp. But you'd want to play it for a couple hours.
But it would be neat to be able to sit down and try and dial it in, and there was none of that, right? It was literally plug in.
And the guy tweaked it for you.
And the guy tweaked it.
Which he did a great job.
Oh, he was great. He let him, you know, Baxter's playing his like 63, 335. It was awesome. Yeah. So that was the deal with that. And I'm sure it was the same for Andertons. Like they didn't get to sit and like, well, I mean, you know, there's no reverb. You're in the room the size of like most people's closet.
And plus, like, as well, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who'd say, well, it's not that hard to turn an EQ knob or this or that, right? You feel like you're playing a piece of history, and you also are trying to be respectful of the fact that they are letting you play these things.
And that they're worth more than like my house.
Like you want to be kind, you know what I mean? So you're not gonna, and they're also like sweet guys. Like Matt was amazing. He was so sweet, dude.
They were all sweet. They were really kind to us. And they, you know, I think that they were, whether you think it's cool or not, they believe in what they're doing.
They do.
So there's something to be said for that. Moving right along. The next easy thing, the Rockman pedal, all the rage.
Yeah.
We got to try it only through headphones. I thought it was really cool.
Oh, it was cool.
Do we have some coming?
Yes, we are going to be in MXR dealer.
So we're gonna have
Unlocked.
MXR, we're gonna have Rockman's,
Way huge.
Way huge, all that stuff. But I think if you're excited about the Rockman pedal, I don't think you'll be disappointed. If that's the tones you want, I think it does it really well.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it like not in headphones at NAMM.
Yeah.
But I was impressed enough by that.
Yeah.
I was also impressed. Speaking of headphones at NAMM, the Walrus booth, man. Like they've never been like one of my top things I'm into, but some of their fuzzes and overdrives we played, and they had, to me, and again, I didn't go play like every pedal at NAMM, but of all the things I tried where I was playing in headphones with a little ampless deal to try something out at NAMM, theirs sounded the best with their little AC one. So
it absolutely did. I was blown away, and I think we're going to carry Walrus too. I used to not be such a Walrus guy by any means.
Agreed.
And I played the stuff there, and I was like, damn, these are pretty damn good. I was really impressed with that. And then we saw a guy over at Magnetone, Granville.
Let's talk about Granville, because Granville's awesome.
What a dude.
Granville Helm, man, super cool guy. He's coming to Magnetone from Eddie's Guitars in St. Louis, I'm pretty sure.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Listen, we love Rod Washburn. Still
Awesome
the
dude.
man. We loved him. But, you know, when you have guys you work with at companies like that, they leave sometimes, which Rod is over at like Pale Eddie Guitars, doing stuff. So that's cool. Baxter got to see him as well. So none of this is like a slam to Rod because we love him. But Granville is excited.
Yes.
I think he wants to do some new kind of things with all the different artists in Magnetone. Focus on different artists, you know, not fall into like the Gibson trap where it's like 97 new customs in the year, you know, and nothing else. No one else exists.
Yeah.
So I think they'll keep pushing Slash because it's cool. The new whatever, the junk
Starlight,
not the new Starlight, the new covering for the Slash, the green Python.
Oh,
Looks cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. The Chrome Grape is cool. Did get to play the Starlight with the reverb.
Yeah.
It's digital reverb. It sounds really good. It's Accutronics did the logarithm, or algorithm, whatever we call it.
I was impressed
good.
by it whenever you got to play it. The hard part at NAMM is, and I'm sure you've heard this a million times, is it's so loud.
It's so loud
that it's hard to really hear it. But whenever I heard you playing it, and I got a little bit closer to try and hear it, you know, and also know Johnny's like on his knees, like playing
like
the guitar
down in
to
front
try
of
and
me,
get
like,
it. It sounded good for a digital reverb. I was impressed. You know,
well, it has all the
first.
noise of like a spring reverb.
Yeah.
You know, it literally it just sounds like a spring reverb.
Yeah. I was ready to make fun of it, and then I heard it, and I was like, oh, well,
Well,
that ain't that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I would be half torn if I even needed the reverb in that little amp. you know, like if you are thinking about picking one up, honestly, and your whole sound is not defined by lots of reverb, just save $100 and get the other one, you know, or whatever.
Maybe, but, and here's maybe a point for the other Starlight, right? The one without reverb is know too that how do you want to use a small amp like that? You usually want to crank it wide open.
Yep.
I find that reverb on amps like that, whenever they are cranked wide open, is not always your friend
anymore.
You know, you don't want all that reverb.
Yeah. And I mean, it's got that whole old little combo thing, especially, you know, on that one, the tone knob is really kind of from like tweed to like more like blackface kind of thing. So it's different, right? And when you get in that tweedy thing and it's doing like a little old champ, it sounds kind of like spitty, like it's got to blow up. But it sounds great mic'd, right? Like I don't know if reverb's going to be your friend at that point either. Now, don't get me wrong. If you were going to like use it as your sort of at home and then grab and go to little gigs, you're running it like still relatively clean at home and quiet. Yeah, the reverb is really nice. And again, they did do a really good job of picking a digital reverb. Mary McChee says, are there lots of concerts and shows around NAMM? There's NAMM stages. The giant one, it has things like Yachty by Nature, which is a giant band of people dressed as like yacht captains.
Apparently, Alicia Keys played there one night.
Yeah, I mean, at night they'll have a couple big things, but I'm just saying during the day, it's
all like
they're just doing like yacht rock songs, and they're like, I'm sure they make a wonderful living. I just found the title hilarious.
Yes,
and I mean that no disrespect, like it was hilarious. I was like, this is Yachty, and they were crushing it.
They're playing yacht rock.
Little stages around them, and then like somebody said, I think already, maybe Mark, that there were free like shows in the hotel, the Marriott right there across from NAMM, which is cool. So yeah, there kind of are, and then there's all these like unofficial little gigs that pop up. You know, one of the big ones this year obviously was the John Mayer thing with PRS. You know, when else do you get to see Paul wailing away on?
They call me the
Call
breeze.
me
Woo!
Bro, listen,
I keep bringing down the rubber.
I don't know what Paul was playing through. I don't.
I'm
I
kidding,
don't.
Paul.
But it was like Mark Lettieri's guitar sound, how hot it was. John Mayer. Then Paul's was through the ceiling up there somewhere. It was the loudest. Like he came out and it was just like, wow.
It literally
you know,
said, by the way, guys, this is my 40th anniversary. Like it was like,
hey, and God bless him. I will say I saw Paul diffuse a bit of a grenade question the next day, and I was like, you know what? God bless you, Paul. You get to play as loud as you want. Like in one of the little Q&A videos in the middle
it's, you know,
of
seeing him get up on the stage, there is something endearing about it, just a little bit, where you're just like, that's nice, you know.
It's cool,
You're
right?
like, that's
and
sweet.
you do feel like it's a weird little family. John Mayer was like, it was like, you know, going to your uncle's thing and getting up to play. Like he's in jeans and t-shirt and his glasses.
Gravity.
It was fine. It was fine. You know, God bless them all. Don't worry, we're getting to the Fender standards. Don't worry. But I just saw Todd Roy talk about the Shabbat guitars. Sean is in love. He lost his mind. He is willing to sell himself. To have one of the,
God.
It was a telly with 2 humbuckers and the snake head
Dude.
headstock. Woo!
With a wraparound bridge, and then
And
on
listen,
top of that, it has the string through the body if you want to go to the other bridge.
It was sexy.
I was like, son of a...
It was very sexy.
Dude, I was ate up. I'm going to have to get one of those. They had one in the 2 Rock booth that I talked to one of the guys about, and I was like, bro,
it's true.
That's a bad guitar, man. But there was too many guitars that I want now.
Nice beard dye.
Beard dye?
I don't know.
Why would you dye your beard but leave the
dye
2
my
gray
beard,
stripes?
Gray. Maybe he thinks I dye this delightful pattern in there.
Pump is
I don't know. I was curious. Anyways.
That's weird.
Shabbat guitars were awesome.
Did
we visit Friedman? We kept going kind of by Friedman. Friedman was very busy. a lot of high traffic, which is great for them, obviously. So we never really got to stop and like go through anything. We didn't do any content there, sadly. Thing you got to remember, man, NAMM is like, there's so many people. And sometimes the booths, you see them and you're just like, there's just impossible to go through. And I honestly, there was nothing anywhere that I was like, I have to go see this or I'll die. So if it was just crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, you can see all the stuff. You can't really hear the stuff anyways, to be fair. And that only comes from like having done NAMM enough that you realize these things.
I saw a comment fly by earlier, I think by that same pump and dump guy, whatever his name is. He they said, why? Well, that's what headphones are for. The issue with hearing some of those amps through headphones is it's not really going to do it justice. You know what I mean? Like you get that. It's like if I walked up to a big ass
Friedman sounds like in headphones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
you know, you're not getting the same. You're not going to play that amp in headphones.
No,
probably.
Well, it's like a Marshall stack. Like whenever I go over there, like I don't want to play it in headphones. Like I want to.
And I don't want to
play the damn amp. Yeah, I want to crank it up.
There were rooms in the Marshall thing to go in there, but again, they're constantly full. And I also know that the point is not for me to go and fangirl over my favorite Marshall amp. Like they're trying to sell these to their dealers, and I have a little bit of respect for that because I've been on the other end of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to be the asshole who's like, hey, get out of here, let me hear this.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, it's cool. But yeah, you know. Was an ESP appointment only. There were a lot of things that were appointment only this year. A lot of things that were just reps.
Nice beer.
Tom, I love you.
Die.
But yeah. Let's keep going.
That's right.
What else was in NAMM, like NAMM proper? We enjoyed it was kind of cool. We went to the little hall with all the cameras and stuff. That was neat to see.
That was cool. I listened to a bunch of like physical, like actual hardware recording gear, and I'm kind of stuck in a hard place with not money wise. I'm broke, but I'm like, well, I guess I'll have to buy the warm audio stuff, unfortunately, because I can't afford the Pultec, the real one. So I'm like, well, it's good. It sounded great. I loved it. I also want to give a shout out to Rob Allen. He called yesterday asking about a deal that he had where he's looking at trading a Silver Sky for a Les Paul and was asking me some questions about values and stuff. So hopefully he'll have a Les Paul here soon, and we'll figure it
Nice.
out. But yeah, nice pubic haircut. Good job.
Yay.
Hump is not a hump.
Yay. Surrender says, is NAMM back per se? NAMM is sort of back.
Here,
It is
I'll
back.
highlight it for you. Does that make you feel better about yourself? Fucking dork.
I think you did Ned's. You did Ned's.
I did do Ned's because Ned's cooler than him.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. All right. Here we go.
Are
Spark
we doing
Brain.
it?
What is your opinion on the Indonesian Fender standards? I passed and bought my second Player 2 Series Strat yesterday. The Player 2 next to Monday. You did the right thing. We got to put our hands on them. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff. The guitars aren't horrible. Like, but I don't think that's the point.
Yeah.
I think the point is, what are we doing? Like, why are we making Indonesian Fender standards? I still haven't figured out, like, I just don't understand the split there of like Squire, like Classic Vibes and Fender. And like, if you quit making Squire, sure. You know,
I don't think that's going to happen though.
I don't either. Well, it's definitely not, but I still don't quite understand. Right.
Yeah.
We order some because it's, you know, it's kind of dumb not to, right? But so we'll see. We'll have them here.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the ones hanging up at NAMM in the content creator lounge. We're fine. Right.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if the ones we actually get are as good, better, worse. Yeah.
I mean,
but again, I just don't understand the I still don't quite understand the strategy.
I don't either, and I feel like it's going to compete too much with the Squire stuff. I'd like to have them side by side and see what they do whenever we actually have them. So we'll just have to wait for that time, I guess. They're doing Acoustasonics there, which I don't quite get either. I feel like that's a odd choice as well. Like, of all the guitars to make there, I don't know.
Who are these for? It is very strange.
That's exactly what I mean.
So I don't know. I don't have a lot of other thoughts. I just think it's weird. I just think it's odd. Fight it out in the comments. I know you guys have thoughts in it, but I mean,
I guess maybe the real question is, would you guys buy them if they did come out and they were really great? Would you not buy them? I don't think many people. I don't know.
Like, does it matter at that point if you got an Indonesian guitar that it says Fender on that stock? I don't know.
Well, and I feel like the people who are going to buy those aren't going to be informed buyers per usual. There's a lot of people in the world who will probably buy that as their first guitar, only realizing later, like, oh, this is Indonesian made. Like they might assume.
Another option.
Yeah, exactly.
Another option. Was any YouTuber you met small or huge in real life? I will say Paul Davids is much taller than I thought he was. In fact, I could have sworn I've seen Paul Davids before, and he was like shorter than I thought. And this time I was like, whoa, Paul Davids is tall. Yeah. So I have no idea. It was very strange.
He got leg extensions.
Maybe he got leg extensions. Rhett Scholl is very tall.
Rhett Scholl was very tall.
Not something I expected.
Samurai guitarist is quite short. I was like, whoa.
He's about what I expected.
Really?
Fair. Yeah.
I didn't expect him to be that small. I was like, whoa.
His hair makes up because he kind of has it like stacked.
Our boy JJ Nipples. That man's huge.
JJ Nipples. We love Jared James. And the fact that he remembers us from time to time is hilarious.
What I thought was funny.
God, he's huge though.
Is how much shit talking we accomplished in the 5-minute moments that we would bump into each other. It was amazing. I love.
We would talk. It was always across people's heads because he's so like giant. You just look up at him, and everyone around is like, "Oh my god!" But it was all in good fun and happiness. So he's quickly becoming one of my favorite folks.
It was great.
Yeah, he was great. My favorite, we told him we were going to the Dumble booth, and he went on a Dumble rant.
He's like, let me tell you something.
I'm not going to tell you all the specifics of the Dumble rant, because you kind of had to be there, but it was amazing. It was amazing.
Let's highlight a good person. Matt. Matt is a good person.
Matt is a good person.
We like Matt.
I don't even know which Matt we're talking about. Hey, Matt.
You know Matt.
Hey, Matt. I do know Matt. I didn't know which Matt we were talking about, but that is Stat Matt.
That's right.
Let's see. Tom,
JJ was great.
I missed the other stuff, but Tom says it had to do with it. I'm assuming they're talking about Lee, the Victory investment. So we actually talked to Lee about Victory amps. We might have some Victory amps. We don't know. Yes. It's not a done deal or anything, but they got these new sort of higher end ones that are kind of awesome.
I'll also say that conversation had nothing to do with Victory amps too.
Oh yeah, the one that Sean was talking about.
Actually, it didn't have much to do with KDH or anything. Yeah, it was
stupid.
Yeah,
which
very bad question. That's all I'll say.
Again, though, that's another thing. I think Lee handled that whole scenario.
Really crushed it, dude. Well. I was like, what a damn gem.
Don't be a goober and think parasocial relationships is normal. Treat all people with respect. You should treat all people with respect. That's
Yep.
true.
That's true. I agree.
I
agree.
Yeah. It's all true. Sounds killer to me in the Andertons video. That must be talking about the Dumble. The new Dumble did not sound good in any videos I've heard. The 2-Rock does it way better from what I can tell. Like I asked Baxter, I was like, would you rather have those amps or would you rather have your 2-Rock? And I feel like right now he would probably rather have his 2-Rock, but he didn't get to dial them in. And I don't think they're the same.
Yeah.
Like to me, they don't sound the same.
And that's the issue, like you said, too, is that it's not like you can spend an hour tinkering with the amp and playing around with it and stuff. And plus, where I do agree with Sweet JJ Nipples is whenever you go to play an amp, sometimes it's based on the player that you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody like Baxter, I think he would thrive with the Dumble in the way that he plays. He has a lot of it's just the way that he plays, I think fits that amp. I wanted to point out this comment real quick from Ned's Donut Shop. He said, KDH seems like a dork. I bet he hangs out with Trogloby.
Oh, man.
So we saw KDH there. I didn't talk to him.
No,
I kind of wanted to be invisible.
Yeah,
I was like, don't look at me.
I don't think I've done anything wrong, but I feel like KDH would find something,
Yeah, it was like, run, hide.
I remember that time in the 2nd grade. I see you.
Hello, Jonathan.
Yeah, no. I
see you not out partying like you did before. I'm being awful big shame if that came out.
Hey.
Run!
Did the dudes from the Dumble Preservation Society seem all the up to you guys? I mean, yeah. but like, are they super into their thing? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the be all end all? Yeah, for Dumbles maybe. I don't know. It's just weird, right? Like it's hard. I mean, I don't think they're trying to like rip anybody off.
No.
I mean, like, are me or you gonna go be in it and have $100,000 amp? Probably not. I don't know.
What I'll commend them on is that everybody in that room seemed like they had a personal relationship with Dumble that sounded very cherished. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Like they really cared about that brand and they cared about those people. So that was really cool.
There's some old weird dudes back home who are strange. Some people might say creepy, but like my family's known them forever, and we're like, oh, it's harmless.
That's just him,
right? And listen, if they happen to build amps that were now worth $100,000, maybe we'd be having the same kind. Listen, he's just a weird guy, but he was a genius. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's that kind of thing. They're like, oh, we happen to be pals with this crazy weird old dude. He happens to build these, mythic like sort of amps.
Yeah.
That was the vibe of it all.
Yeah. And it sounded like they all had an understanding of him as a person. Like they understood all those weird things.
They understood the weird things and knew that like it doesn't sound like he could even like sort of take care of himself and support himself. I mean, at the end. Which is where a lot of these guys came in. And I do think there's something cool about respecting somebody like what they've done and put out into the world enough that you do that for them on a personal level. So on that level, and I think they were straight up.
I think you can attest to this too, is that there's a lot of guys who build things in this community that are weird and have a lot of these weird quirks and don't operate in the way that you'd be like, well, that's not a smart business strategy. And it's solely because they are that genius. They are that creative entity that is just striving forward for something, whatever they're following, that's what they're doing. So I think it's cool.
This is all true. Tom says Baxter drew quite the crowd when he played. He really did, honestly. It was pretty neat to see him get some recognition like that, which I think he 1000% deserves. Sean Brooks says, when I play my digital deluxe reverb, I think it sounds great. Likewise. But when I switched to my actual deluxe reverb, there's something there that you didn't know was missing until you heard it. It's very true. That's why the new Tonex Power Cab has the live button. No, listen, we did go and talk to, it was a brilliant segue, by the way. We did go and talk to the IK Multimedia people about the Tonex stuff. Super cool, folks. I think they're going to send us one of those new cabs if anybody cares, and we'll do some videos and try it out. Stuff. Maybe versus the Fender ones. Maybe plug like the Tonex and the Tonemaster Pro, do the little live thing. We'll do the dumbest thing ever, and we won't go direct with it. We'll mic the actual amp or the little cab for the Tonex to see if it sounds more live. Because I know it's dumb, but that's the only way I can think of to really lets you hear that part. But it should be cool.
No, it should be.
I wish the Dumble Preservation Society would republish the Dumble book. They may.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk
may.
about the Dumble book there.
Yeah.
So
the new Dumble's cool on paper, but it's not even close from what I can hear. I mean, I doubt that was a good, I don't know that was a great representation, the way that everybody got to film that. Like, I'd like to see them really set it up in a studio and do all the, plus I don't know. It's really hard, I think, for something that's just built, even if it's exactly the same. Like if you had a time machine and you could play that 50-year-old Dumble or however old it is, and then go back to the day it was built, I doubt they sound the same, right? You can play any old deluxe reverb now, then you had a time machine and the day it came off the line, I don't think that necessarily they sound the same. But that could be me believing in magic when there's not any. So I don't know. Take it all with a grain of salt.
I think life's better if you believe in the magic, though.
Really
I think it makes it a little more magical. And if you don't like a Dumble, then find that thing that does have the magic in it for you.
The thing I don't think the new one has is the thing where he sits there with the components and tweaks them while you play.
Yes.
That's what I'm worried that, like, unless you can recreate that. There's a guy in Nashville named Jeff Heim who I think is an amp like wizard as well, right? And he worked on all my amps. He was always so kind to me. Like when I was a super broke musician, the same as now. He'd be like, "Man, you need this amp tomorrow because you got to play 18 shifts on Broadway. Like, so let me fix it for you right now while you're here. Oh, play it." And then he would tweak things while you played, and it was kind of amazing. Like he would do mods that way, and like in the next room, and you'd just be sitting there playing. He'd be in the next room with the amp, tweaking junk, and it's like awesome. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know how without somebody like that driving it. That's the problem, right? I don't know how it's really Dumble without that aspect. That's my one critique.
Yes. And he talked about that. Matt did about how he went through like 16 or 17 different transformers for amps, and it's solely because he heard something. He took note of something. Now that could be delusional, but also that is a part of the magic of the man. I think he was living the myth quite literally.
I'm way behind on comments. Okay,
coming
down here. I'm just coming down to the bottom. Sorry. Listen. Let's switch gears. Anything else crazy from NAMM before we switch to Woodwire and Volts?
I don't think so.
So Woodwire and Volts was killer.
Yep. Oh wait, we met fucking Juan Mayer.
Oh my God, that was probably the highlight of the whole.
That was amazing.
And listen, if
that
you
was the
don't
peak.
know Juan Mayer, you got to go to Instagram. We actually invited him to the John Mayer concert of the event.
We did.
And he was pumped, but then we couldn't. We never kind of got back up with him. So I don't know if he wasn't getting our messages or what. But anyways, he's a busy man. He's Juan Mayer, for God's sake.
He was.
That dude's hilarious.
What a human being.
Hilarious.
He came out and he grabbed the mic, and the mic wasn't on. He had to hit the switch or whatever, and he went to talking to it. He's like, "That should have already been on for me." And I was like, "That's amazing." It was incredible.
It was pretty great. We got a video of him coming out.
We do.
That was a highlight. That was the highlight, maybe.
It was
that
incredible.
Was the best part.
It warmed my heart.
It warmed my heart as well.
I think it should be in every video that we put out from here to the end.
Us meeting Juan Mayer. That was really. That was really good.
That was that is all though. That was
that is all. That was. I mean, with lots of other people we talked to, Lawler, Clark, and Cassandra at Brown Box were cool. Awesome.
We talked to so many people.
So many people. So I mean, can't do it all. Two Rock, Eli was cool. But go over to Woodwire and Volts. Such a different vibe than NAMM.
It was like an opium den.
It was a lot like an opium den.
It was sick. And we got there, and the best way to describe it was like NAMM was the trade show vibe with a bunch of people that we knew and stuff. Awesome, right? Going to Woodwire was like coming to the family cookout and being like surrounded by people that we knew from different moments in time, and everybody was sweet and kind and nice, and there was just a lot of love in that room, which was really cool. It was great. We met the Built guys.
I kind of fell in love with the Built guitars. The El Hombre was amazing.
Me too.
It's like everything you sort of want an SG to be in a really weird body shape.
And
that was the only guitar I really got to go play through an amp, like in the room.
I didn't even get to play
which
guitar period, which sucked. I was like, they looked amazing though. I mean, phenomenal.
Well, I hope we get to do some stuff with those guys.
Yeah.
Schumann guitars were great. I think he did a really great showing there.
I think he had a fun time too, because the whole time, anytime I looked at him, he was just smiling. He's
he was
like,
sweet enough to wear one of our casino hats. It was just fun with
Sick.
him because we've seen him on his whole journey, right?
yes,
You know, and those guitars, man, they've come so far, and I think they're really, really good now.
Yes.
So if you're interested, check him out.
He's on the
Guitars.
precipice of greatness.
That is true. So that was awesome. Man, a company that I thought looked so cool. We never really got to talk to the guy, Black Bolt.
Yes,
The
no,
AM sending guitars.
we didn't get to talk to him at all, and I think it's just because anytime we were walking by, he wasn't in the booth.
We
my
just kept
knowledge.
missing. We were like two ships passing in the night. I did get to play one of his amps with the Castadosa in the aux box, but even then, it sounded amazing.
Good, right?
The satellite amps that were there, those were killer.
Those are great.
But I mean, you know, it was just a fun vibe. It was way more relaxed than AM. Obviously, it's much smaller. It's all in this one big room, and then you go upstairs, and they had it set up as a little concert venue. Aerial Posing that night was sort of like a who's who of crazy players. Dylan Adams, Dylan and Adams and I have the weird mutual friend who passed away years ago, so we've kind of been connected on the old gram for a while. First time we ever met in person.
I will say, and everybody else there that night did great. They did an amazing job. Zach from Mythos did a particularly
he did do
job.
a great job.
Good
And
job.
he's like, I don't know, I've
so
played in front of
nervous.
people forever, and then he goes up and crushes it. But
yes, but I think Dylan Adams took the cake for the length of the solo, the way that he did it, and I was like, that's bad.
Cannot be shaken.
That's a bad man, right? It could not be shaken. I was like,
he is a bad man.
He was on it.
He was on it. Seth Rosenblum was pretty amazing as well.
Yes,
and he's come by the shop too, so it was neat to see him.
He played it nice and short too. He is like, he locked it.
It was sort of blues how it should probably be.
But he went for it. I was like,
and Aerial Posing obviously destroyed it.
Yes. Should I tell them about my aerial posing?
I think you should.
You think I should?
I think you should.
Okay. So I saw aerial posing at more things than anyone else, than any other person that we've talked about or could talk about or anything. Every time I was at NAMM, it's like we would bump into each other. We'd walk past each other every time. We made eye contact every single time. We never said hello. We would do the head nod. He'd smile. I'd wink at him and be like, yeah, what's up? Never shook hands and said hello. Not that that's an issue, right? We go to Woodwire. After I've seen him a bunch of times, he's at Woodwire. I see him again. We don't talk. Then I start thinking. It starts percolating in my brain. I was like, I've got a unique opportunity to do something really funny right now. And we'll see how long this bit can go on.
Sean's bought his signature slide there, by the way.
I've got
he's making jokes about like going up and dropping it.
Messing with them. So I start thinking about all this stuff, right? And I'm like, this is hilarious, right? So we're on our way out.
Thing between him and Ariel.
We see him play, he does great and stuff like that, right? Once again, lots of eye contact. We got to leave, right? We're talking to the Built guys and we're on our way out. He's done played and he's talking to some fans. And we make eye contact again. And I'm like, this is it. This is my last opportunity. So we're walking by and I look at him and I go, and then we keep fucking walking, dude. And he looked at me and the look on his face.
Like, what?
So worth it.
He was probably so confused. And he was kind of sick too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so that's,
It was amazing.
It was kind of amazing.
Now, what's great about this, and you guys can be in on this joke a little bit. I don't know what he thinks. He might think that I'm gonna like kill him.
He's like, that crazy guy. I was like, I don't know who that was.
And he has no clue. Like, I'm like, this is awesome, dude. This is sick. He killed it though. He's a badass player.
Matt says restraining order pending. It would be really funny.
I told Matt about it yesterday, and Matt bursted out laughing when I got to that part. He was like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like, you're gonna get a restraining order. It's like, it's fine.
The Dirty Knob said, did we try Toast guitars? The Texas Toast guitars, yes, super cool.
Yes,
those guys are super nice, genuine guys. We got an interview coming out with them as part of the Woodwire Molts content. Dylan, our buddy Dylan that wants pickups, Dylan Talks Tone, was with those guys. He's got a guitar that's like his version with pinstriping that he's selling. So if you want a really cool Texas Toast guitar, go check out his website. But some really neat stuff that they're doing. In some different ways, you know what I mean? So I think those are cool. Obviously, they got great pickups in them. So yeah, we did. And we tried some of those before.
Speaking of pickups, we met Curtis Novak. Wow, what a sweet dude! Like just
super sweet dude,
down to earth guy.
I wish I would have had more time to just chat with him because I feel like I kind of resonate with him.
I talked to him and his wife before that, and I was like, dude, you're like a rock star, man. Like this is awesome. Like you make great stuff. And he was like, Oh man, he's like, I'm not a rock star. He's like, I appreciate that. Like, he's just so humble and
Super
kind,
humble, man.
and he was
Um,
just stoked to be there doing that event.
Just tell about like his kids and his family, you know,
Yeah.
and you can see why him and Carlos get along because it's
man.
very similar,
Very
vibe in that
family
way.
oriented. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that. You know, Todd Roy said that'd be a funny story if you eventually you get to be interview or play with him, like you and Ariel. But what would be really funny
You
is
think
if,
they're gonna let me hold a guitar
would
near
be-
somebody like that?
if we were interviewing him and you just go and stand in the corner and stare the whole time. That'd be really funny, actually. Homegrown
Sunglasses on, like just really like.
We did a lot of sunglasses indoors, which was actually ridiculous, but it was fun.
That's half the fun.
I did not get to go to Norm's Homegrown Son.
We did not.
We were just spread too thin as it was.
Yeah. William Robinson keeps asking, Mary Spender, cute? It's like
You have to talk to Derek. Talk to Derek about all of that. God bless him.
just keep staring.
She was fine. D Spalding says, guys, we all know electrons can't survive in the crystal lattice. It's just what is it? What does he say about it? About the wild harmonics or live better in the tubes? And yeah, the electrons can't survive in the crystal lattice. I think that's hilarious. I actually, that clip popped up after we got back because everybody's talking about Dumble on my friggin' YouTube.
You guys are acting like he was crazy or something.
Well, it's funny because it's Henry Kaiser asking him. He's like, so tell us, Alexander, what is the difference? It's just really funny. I mean, you know, hey, we all got that one friend.
That's right.
D Spalding says it was the most underwhelming NAMM I've ever seen. I mean, I kind of agree. Like as far as just the spectacle of it, like I was saying, that was what I was saying in the beginning. That it just kind of, you know.
Ned said there's a dancer at this bar near me named Crystal Lattice. That's great.
There is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there is. Chad B. A little smoke there. A little smoke.
No, Norms, you're not missing much.
Dumble and Paul Smith should have collaborated making guitar when it comes to the straight jacket. That it's kind of hilarious.
Todd Roy said he follows Ariel on IG. He said that he's going to ask him if anybody's been staring at him lately.
Been staring at you strangely?
Hey, is anybody following you?
Is one of us supposed to go up in the shop and
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bounce over and do that.
All right,
You
it'll
got
be
this?
just me, boys. Just me.
Camera battery light is flickering too. I don't know.
So it might, if we die suddenly, it'll be because the D man had to run over to like an emergency run over. So it's just me and Sean this whole time. So
right.
No diners, no corned beef hash, but we did have In-N-Out. So there was that. We did have that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, it was Homegrown Son says best food found during NAMM. I have to give the shout out to Donnie Rod. He always takes us to like a crazy steak dinner.
I think we
and
obviously it's the NAMM hot dog.
Well, the NAMM shout out to the NAMM hot dog. Only $8. It's a steal. No, that's no side or drink. So they really appreciate that you're the captive fucking customer in there.
You get what is it? It's like a $17 deal.
$17 for like
a bag of chips.
A really small bag of chips, a plain hot dog, and a bottle of drink. But you know, what are you gonna do?
What do you expect them to do?
No, it's that's just what it costs. It's California. And we never caught on fire.
We never caught on fire.
We never did catch on fire.
We saw the fires from a distance away.
We did.
But we had to be very high up to see it.
I also would like to say, what a dear sweet man Levi Perry is.
Oh, dude. Leviticus, my boy. He's awesome, dude.
Well, Leviticus Perry, super cool. Does casino guitars go to cookout? Of course we go. Yeah. We are cookout connoisseurs.
Kind of question.
In fact, maybe we can't afford to go to cookout today because no one's tipped enough. Tom, where are you? No.
Damn it, Tom. He's going to pick up a one.
Really funny.
All right, boys.
Juan Mayer video soon with Jonathan Coving Gravity. God, I wish there was that. We are working on our what was it? The Queen song. Bohemian Rhapsody. It's taking us a minute, but it was, you know, NAMM slowed us down for that. But yeah, you know, no, I'm sure his full name is not Leviticus, but maybe it is. But no, super cool dude, man. And hearing him talk about his guitars there was kind of amazing. And he was dressed very cool, like all black suit with the cowboy boots and the Fender hat. kind of fun. So there you go. But no, food is quite expensive at NAMM. I believe the old, the probably heated up in the microwave cheeseburger was about $18. So, Ned, you'd have been fine. What are you gonna do? No, the hot dog was not a foot long. It was a pretty stout hot dog, but you know, I don't know. I wouldn't want to pay $8 for it on the regular. So yeah, that was that. NAMM was good. It was fine. I do think there's a little bit of they're trying to bring it back to, it's there for you to do. Oh man, it died. The camera died. Oh, you said that it was still working. Yeah, it probably is still working. But anyways, so I'm going to go. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out. Yep, that's me furiously typing. Yeah, camera battery died. No Derek, no Sean, so it's just me. See you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Goodbye.